ready to question everything? Tune in.
Yo, welcome back to the show. Robert and crew, late night steal the flow. 12 a.m. sharp, KC lights aglow. Conspiracies, mysteries, let the weird truth grow. Hollyweird, old world, cryptids in the night. Flat earth debates till the early light. Raw and unfiltered, just vibing with the crew. The Robert and Crew Show, we coming for Yo, Robert from KC, digital artist with the pen. Spitting bars on the stream with his co-host friend. Crew in the mix, banter sharp like a blade. Low production magic in the midnight parade. YouTube, Twitch, the Robertan Crew Show live. Facebook drop, TikTok clips keep the hive. Welcome back y'all, Robert kicks it off right. Crew hits the echo, we own the whole night. Hollyweirdos Part 5, exposing the occult scene. Silver screen weirdos with their hidden schemes. Garden of Eden Cup 2, diving ancient lore. Book of Enoch pages, opening heaven's door. Afterlife and the soul, spirit talk till dawn breaks. Multiverses, twisting galactic trips we take. Old world architecture, KC buildings stand grand. Tartarian theories, do they understand? Flat earth debates, cryptids hiding deep. Weather phenomena wild, making sky watchers weep. AA slopping chill vibes, mind bending every track. Paranormal stories, listeners hit us back. Content, house drama, inference or shade get thrown. From local KC flavor to the great unknown. No filter, no script, just authentic and free. Grassroots late night hang for the truth seekers like me. Welcome back to the show. Robert and crew, late night steal the flow. 12 a.m. sharp, KC lights aglow. Conspiracies, mysteries, let the weird truth grow. Hollyweird, old world, cryptids in the night. Flat earth debates till the early light. Raw and unfiltered, just vibing with the crew. The Robert and Crew Show, we coming for you. Small dedicated fans in the Facebook group, discussing every episode, keeping the loop. Search the name, catch the archive on YouTube. Robert and Crew, vibe with us, stay true. Mic drop at midnight. Welcome back, crew. Yo, welcome back to the show. Robert and Crew, late night.
Welcome back to the show. As it says in our new theme song. I'm Robert, the host, as always.
And I'm the co-host, Crew, as always.
How you been tonight, Crew?
I've been amazing. As you can tell, I got zebra cake donuts.
What's up, Julie? How did you like the new song? Yeah, it's wonderful. And it goes with everything we've ever done on the podcast.
Are we on like season 12 or 13?
So you might as well call it season 20 now.
We've lost count. After season 7, we stopped doing the counting.
We really
we
did.
stopped doing the whole episode count and season count.
Yeah. So, tonight we're back on the Hollyweirdness. We still got videos to finish.
And I think some more.
We still got videos to finish. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos to finish. And if you sent me more, I'll pull those up right now and we'll have some more.
For sure. Oh, a buddy of mine sent me this on something we should cover.
What is it?
Hold on, I'm sending you it. Ah, there you are. Okay, now I'm gonna send that screenshot. Because I tagged you in it, but you never saw it.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that was commenting the other day.
He wants to do films like Terminator, Lawnmower Man, Johnny Mnemonic, The Matrix, Judge Dredd, and a few more movies?
Yeah, he suggested we should do something like that.
We could definitely do that.
I mean, we don't really need to go back over the Terminator because we are dead.
Or The Matrix. We did The Matrix too. We just didn't go in hella in depth.
We just talked a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. We just talked about it a little bit.
Now, whoever has never had a zebra cake done, right? I suggest you try them. They're fire. Robert convinced me to get them.
So you only sent me 2 videos.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of them's about Artemis.
Uh-huh.
Okay. As long as you meant to put that in there.
Yep.
All right. Well, to start off the show tonight. Huh?
No, I sent you 5 that. No, actually, no, I sent you 3.
I have
Reeves.
I have the Keanu one. I have the
Kirk.
Yep. And then I have the alien one.
Okay, I was about to say 2. I was like, I swear I sent you 3.
Now let's start this off and finish where we left off with Hugh Hefner. After we finish out the Hugh Hefner stuff, we'll hit on the new videos.
Bet.
So here we go. Hugh Hefner's son tells us what it was like growing up in the Playboy Mansion.
This really acted as a pretty traditional home, even though it is not a traditional home for me and my brother, especially when our parents were together. When my mom and dad separated and my dad bought the mansion next door, he broke down the wall and my brother and I went back and forth between both properties. My parents kept us sheltered from adulthood like any other parent does. We were kept away from the parties while we were growing up. When we were younger, you know, we weren't participating when we were 12 years old at the midsummer's party at the mansion. Like any other 13, 14, 15-year-old, if you're upstairs and your parents are having a Christmas party, you're going to sneak downstairs and, you know, try and figure out what's going on and why you're not invited to the party. Yeah, I had some of those nights, you know, with my friends, and I'm not going to talk about them though, because I'll probably get in trouble from my parents. I'm Cooper Hefner, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the Playboy Mansion. So should we go to the pool now, or? Yeah. So we are standing outside of the grotto, which from the outside looks like a large rock island structure, but from the inside looks like a cave. It's funny because it's such an iconic place, and obviously the whole world probably sees it as one thing, which is this mecca for orgies. But the reality is for me, it has always represented this sort of Indiana Jones adventure, because when I was a kid, there was none of that going on, and I was swimming around here, and that's what it was to me. We are heading to the game house, which is my favorite place on the property. This is just sort of the ultimate hangout for when I have friends over. This is the best place to host people.
What kind of music do you keep in there?
Oh, you know, all the classic hits. Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande. No. Wow. Really, the real classic hits. Frank Sinatra, Paul Whiteman, I don't even know who that is. Glenn Miller, don't know who that is. No, we have an iPod dock, thankfully. So it's a little bit for my dad and then a little bit for me. I'm the iPod functioning guy. My dad still actually really loves this music. So,
what is that room back there?
that's the van room.
I'm sorry?
The van room.
Van room.
Yeah, so the room was was designed to actually look like the back of a 1970s van. There's a mattress
that's
underneath
cool.
the floor, so it feels as though you are literally walking on a mattress. It's one of my favorite rooms. It's a nice place to come and spend some time with your friends. You could imagine this was the greatest place to play hide and seek in the entire world when you're younger. We also have a private zoo permit, so we have everything from African cranes to flamingos to peacocks. These are squirrel monkeys, and I'm warning you now that they get very feisty when you start feeding them. Many of these animals are actually rescues. We get phone calls from people all the time who have purchased exotic animals and who don't know how to take care of them, so we take them. Cockatoo? In elementary school, we used to actually have field trips up to my house. I did not realize that that was bizarre, but we would have field trips up here, and our animal department at the time would take all the kids in my class around. There would be about 30. Of course, their parents joined them because they wanted to be here as well. That was one of those things that you don't realize is really weird until you get older, and then you go, wait, everyone's not going to everyone else's house for a field trip.
Well, that's a little interesting, you know, not so crazy, you know, side of the mansion.
I think it's hilarious that his entire his entire class in like different schools would go to his house to go to the zoo.
Right.
It's hilarious. Elms just said, true story. My mom owned that same bird, and my aunt closed the door while it was on top of the door and broke its neck. Oh my God. Poor cockatiel.
Right. I wouldn't mind having a, you know, floor like that, you know, like he was standing on. Like,
The mattress room.
yeah.
You can only imagine how many people probably screwed on that floor.
Right. But you know, I wouldn't mind having one like that, you know, just to walk on.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Be cool to have I've always wanted to have like a house with a 70s like a 70s pit, like a conversation pit in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool. The couch that goes into the floor.
And having like that music style to it too.
Yeah.
But Frank Sinatra, he's like, I've never heard of Frank Sinatra before. Like, who hasn't heard of Frank Sinatra?
Mm.
You've been wondering.
Amazing.
Right though, Frank Sinatra is pretty awesome. I like his music. I don't know much about the history of Frank Sinatra, but I know the man's music, and it's pretty darn good. So this is the dark or the brutal downfall of the Playboy Mansion.
Have you been wondering what's going on with the Playboy Mansion ever since Hugh Hefner passed away? Well, I haven't. To be honest, I kind of forgot about this house. That was until one of you guys sent me an article showing what the place looks like nowadays. And let's just put it this way, the Playboy Mansion isn't looking so great.
It's one of the most famous private homes in LA, the Playboy Mansion.
It's the best real estate in Los Angeles.
Welcome to the Playboy Mansion. Come on in.
Playboy bought it for $1 million. They sold it to Metropolis for $100 million.
So what exactly happened to the Playboy Mansion? What caused its fall from its glory days as the premier party house in Holmby Hills to an oversized, dilapidated shack in dire need of a makeover?
Now, this property is not only considered one of the most infamous homes in all of LA, but it's also looked at as one of the most prime pieces of real estate that you can get.
One of the most expensive properties to be sold in LA. What you get is you get privacy, you get 5 acres, you get history.
It's amazing. You just feel like a sense of, it's got real atmosphere.
We've had 22-foot, high ceilings here in the Grand Hall. Look at, check out all the hand-carved wood.
Today, let's look at the history of the Playboy Mansion, all of the drama surrounding the place, including the mold. Yeah, there was a lot of mold. And of course, we need to dive into as much footage as we can dig up on what the house looks like now, what the grotto looks like now, and what the future holds for the Playboy Mansion. Now, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't exactly prepared for the rabbit hole that I was about to go down when I started researching the Playboy Mansion. It's got kind of a dark history, and nowadays, a little bit of controversy too. We'll get into that in a minute. But first, where exactly is the Playboy Mansion, you might ask, especially all of you guys who are watching this video who don't live in LA. The address of the place is 10236 Charing Cross Road. And if we zoom out a little bit, so you guys are going to see, we've got Beverly Hills and Rodeo Drive down over here to the right, Century City down here, Bel Air is over here. For any of you OGs watching the channel, the one is right up in like, right in this pocket. Yeah, right there. So it's in a really prime area for sure. When you look at the property address on Google Maps, if you get in pretty close, it actually shows you the lot lines. So you can see one side of the property is on Mapleton Drive. The other side is over here on Charing Cross. And then the back side of the property just backs right up to that golf course. And then if we drop this guy down here on Street View on the Charing Cross side of the property, you guys will see very private. These hedges are probably like 15 feet tall, but not a lot going on. Behind these gates are, well, a bunch of construction. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Last thing real quick on the location. So just look at the price of the real estate in this like surrounding area. We got this one here, $62.5 million. It's a 31,000 square foot mansion. This one over here, 40 million bucks. It looks like a palace. This is 33,000 square feet. We got this one, $155 million. I think a lot of you guys know this house. This one's 56,000 square feet. Up here, 65 million bucks, 30,000 square feet, 85 million bucks. This one is 21,000 square feet. This one's $55 million, 30,000 square feet. I mean, you guys get the point. Basically, the entire area surrounding the Playboy Mansion is full of just absolute compounds. These are some of the biggest estates and best estates that you can get literally in all of LA. So yeah, very valuable property, very desirable property. That's probably why Hefner wanted this place so bad. But what I didn't realize when I started doing the research for this video is that the mansion in LA actually was not the original Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner originally set up shop in Chicago at this gem of a house at 1340 North State Parkway. Hef bought the property for $400,000 in 1959 when he was first building his empire. Here, after he bought it, he added a pool, a steam room, a sauna, a bowling alley, and a movie theater to the house. And of course, a bunch of crazy parties were thrown here too. What happened to the original Playboy Mansion has kind of an interesting timeline. When Hef was ready to leave Chicago, he leased his mansion out to a local art institute for just $10 per year. Then not long after that, he ended up donating the house to the art institute. But ultimately, the art institute ended up selling the mansion to a developer. This was in 1993. So what that developer did is they converted this mansion into a bunch of individual luxury condos. None of them are for sale right now, but I looked at a few of them that have sold kind of recently. Like this one sold in November 2019 for $2.7 million. And yeah, it's a nice spot. Like they have this really nice central courtyard area. Here is what the living room inside looks like. Here's a picture of how they finished the kitchen. Here's another one I found on Zillow. This one was last up for sale for $2.5 million a couple years ago. The place looks exactly the same from the street. This unit inside must have been remodeled by someone at some point. It's got a different vibe than the last one. This one's a little bit more modern. Pretty cool what they did with the place. It's very rare you see someone take a big mansion like this and cut it up into condos. Like some people do that with office towers and other commercial buildings. And yeah, as far as I can tell, this would not be all that bad of a place to live if you wanted to live in this area and you had $2.5 million to spend. Anyways, back to LA. It was 1971 when Hugh Hefner bought the Playboy Mansion in Hollyweird Hills. He was dating a girl named Barbie Benton at the time. Barbie was a model and an actress, and she's credited with actually being the one who convinced Hef to buy the Playboy Mansion in LA. And I want you guys to guess how much Hugh Hefner paid for this place. So remember, it was 1971. We're talking about a 5-acre property and a mansion sitting on it in one of the best parts of LA. Go ahead, pause the video, put your guess down in the comments. What do you guys think? What did he pay for it back then? He paid only $1.1 million. $1.1 million is equivalent to around $8 million in today's dollars. So that is a ton of money, yes, but still, it's an absolute bargain for such a prime piece of real estate. And Hef bought the property from a guy named Louis Statham. I guess Louis invented a bunch of stuff, like a device used to measure pressure when you're looking for oil. He also invented a blow flow meter that is placed in your heart. And according to like everything ever written about this guy, it sounds like Lewis was also an avid chess player. So yeah, the Playboy Mansion, as we all know it today, started in 1971. And from that point forward, this place would host some of the wildest parties that the city would ever see.
Some of Hollywood's most legendary parties have been held at Hef's house.
The former home of Playboy magazine founder Hugh Hefner, a man who has forgotten more about parties than we'll ever know.
And this, of course, is the infamous grotto.
This is called the van room, and it's because it looks like the inside of the back of a van, I guess.
So many stars have partied in Hef's house over more than 4 decades, and oh, the walls can talk.
This was not your usual house. It was set up to entertain for sure, with an 80-person staff. Yes, an 80-person staff for a private single-family home. It had a 24-hour gourmet kitchen, and the parties would feature burlesque dancers performing in giant martini glasses. It was a hot spot for celebrities, and one of the craziest features to me, the Playboy Mansion was the sole residence in all of Los Angeles that actually had a zoo license. Former Bunny said there was nothing like a Playboy party, and there never will be anything the same as Hef's parties again. She said they were wilder than you could even imagine. And what I thought was interesting is another one of Hef's ex-girlfriends said there was actually a good mix of wild and rowdy party nights mixed with more mellow movie nights where everybody got a free dinner and people would just come over for a meal and a movie just to chill. Donald Trump attended the parties. Snoop Dogg was a regular guest. John Lennon went. He actually had a story where he burned a cigarette into one of Hef's expensive pieces of art. There were actually even rumors and blueprints showing that some celebrities had secret underground tunnels from their nearby mansions to the Playboy Mansion, although I think this rumor was officially debunked. These parties had rock bands, they had DJs, basically everything that you read about the parties that were happening here make it sound a lot more like an event center than a house that's sitting in the middle of a neighborhood. Fast forward to 2015, and things kind of started to slow down a little bit around the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner was getting old. He was 89 at the time, and he decided to put the house up for sale for a big asking price of $200 million. Check it out. Even though that sale happened like 6 years ago, there's still a handful of photos up on Redfin from that listing. They started with this one as the cover photo. I mean, this place straight up looks like something out of a movie. The property itself, or at least the architecture side of the property, is decked out with all kinds of crazy stuff, like this lion statue. Random photo of, I'm pretty sure, one of Hef's girlfriends sitting in the lawn. Don't know why this ended up in the listing photos, though. There's this grand staircase, a bunch of old artwork, tons of intricate woodwork. Here's the entrance to the home movie theater. I guess there was a bunch of movie parties that were hosted at this house, like during the week. If you were one of the lucky few people to get invited to watch one of those movies, this is what it looks like inside. Nice office, a little bit dated, at least with the green carpet, but I can appreciate it. And I definitely like that Eames lounger in the corner. And they rounded out with a photo of Hef's bedroom, which from what I understand is seating area with a fireplace, huge oversized bed there. In the back, I think was like a makeup area or a hangout area for the girls. And then he's just got a bunch of just pictures with him and random people on the walls, a bunch of trophies and trinkets and just things that people have given to him over the years. Yeah, this bedroom's probably like half the size of my house. So when they put that thing up on the market, since Hef was still living in the house and he was still alive, there was kind of a unique condition that was attached to the listing. It basically said that whoever bought this house, the deal would need to be structured as a living estate, which said that Hugh Hefner would be allowed to continue to live in the home until he passed away. It didn't take long to find a buyer. Just 6 months after they put the house up on the market for sale, in August of 2016, billionaire Darren Metropolis bought the Playboy Mansion for $100 million. exactly half of the original asking price. Here's a picture of the buyer, Darren, all suited up at work. And this is a photo of him at one of the Playboy Mansion parties in 2012 with Snoop Dogg. Interesting. And as far as what this guy does for work, Darren, by some sources, is known as the Twinkie King. He and his family made their fortune selling Chef Boyardee, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Bumblebee Tuna, and of course, Twinkies. And he actually already lived right next door to the Playboy Mansion. So I guess his goal was to join the two properties to create one massive compound. Darren's plan from the day he bought the place was to do a pretty in-depth or thorough renovation, because just after all of those years of parties that were happening at the house, place had become pretty run down.
The Playboy Mansion has fallen on hard times since its glory days.
I heard the mansion was a bit of a wreck on the inside.
It's a very beautiful property, but it had some, gross carpet and a lot of dogs. Like dog feces that would be like sitting on the carpet, because the girls that would live there would bring their animals with them.
I got very sick, and we had the house checked for mold, and there was toxic mold everywhere. It ended up being like a $2 million remediation at the house.
But even with a gut renovation needed, the new owner definitely never intended on tearing the house down. In fact, at this point, he can't. In March of 2018, he entered an agreement with the city of Los Angeles, which will permanently protect the Playboy Mansion from demolition. They put what's called a permanent protection covenant on the home, which means no future owners will be able to demolish this house. Hugh Hefner passed away on September 27th, 2017, at the age of 91 years old at the Playboy Mansion. And this marked the moment where the new owner was free to move forward with his plans. From what I could tell, the Twinkie King, aka Darren, started renovations on the house right away. There's a bunch of progress shots that have been taken by drones over the years, showing the grounds all dug up and basically just turned to dirt. The pool was gutted and is in the middle of renovation as well, including the infamous grotto. And it's obvious there's plenty of work happening inside with all the construction cars and trucks parked all around the property all the time, plus the scaffolding that's been put up around different parts of the home, probably to either restore or refurbish different parts of the exteriors as well. The Daily Mail dug up that plans filed with the LA Planning Department show the construction includes a new basement below the original building, partially demolishing the staff house, and building a new 4,400 square foot additional structure that includes a gym and a garage. And according to this same report, the interior work, I guess, is remodeling the kitchen, the family room, the bathrooms, the servants' quarters. I don't think they're called that anymore, but those, and also they're adding a bunch of skylights throughout the house as well. I cannot imagine being the superintendent on this job and having to walk the job site every day just to make sure that things are moving along. Like, we're talking 20,000 square feet of house and then another 5 acres of land. It would take you like half a day to do a walkthrough. I do want to say, though, that even though a lot of work is happening here, it sounds like the goal is to still restore the mansion to its original glory. They're not going to just throw a bunch of random new age modern finishes in here. Now, before we wrap the video today, I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that's the fact that unfortunately, since Hef passed away, there's actually a lot of girls who have come out and said that they don't have the best of memories from their times partying and living in the Playboy Mansion.
Hi guys, welcome to another behind the scenes episode at the Playboy Mansion. I've had a really hard time recently, diagnosed with many health conditions. I feel kind of like a shell of my former self. As most people know, I lived in the Playboy Mansion for 10 years, and that was hard.
He was really the manipulator and didn't want us getting along because that served him better.
I was young and thought, I could handle anything and just got in way over my head.
Once I left the mansion, I went into therapy for about 5 years, and I realized that the place messed me up more than I thought it did.
I wasn't there. It's definitely not my place to accuse anyone of doing anything wrong here. But I will say that based on all of these accounts and accusations, I was actually kind of surprised to hear that the city of LA was willing to put that demo protection on the mansion. It's always interesting to see the people who show up in the comments of these videos. I would love to hear if any of you guys out there either went to the Playboy Mansion parties when they were happening, or if any of you guys out there watching this video are actually working on the Playboy Mansion today and you're a part of this big renovation. If that's you, let me know down in the comments below. I'll do my best to reply to everybody. I'll see you guys next time.
I started a business.
That was interesting.
Yeah, so they're renovating. So that man that bought it is renovating the mansion.
Well, that was talked about in 2019. That video was
Right.
done in 2019. It's 2026 now. I wonder what it's like now.
Let me check. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, wow. It looks so much nicer now.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I'm popping it up now.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah, that's the Playboy Mansion after 10 million in renovations.
Wonder what he's using it for now.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
So the other place.
This was 11 months ago. So this right here is for sure what it looks like right now.
Right. So the other place, that they did a, Urban Explorer.
Uh-huh.
Wonder who owns that.
Like that's what it looks like now.
Right. But the other place.
That was the swingers club thing.
So they allowed that to go downhill, but whoever owns that. And I'm pretty sure it's the guy, not the guy who owns, the Playboy Mansion now.
Right. It looks a lot nicer now.
Mm-hmm.
In 1953, Hugh Hefner created Playboy magazine, building a multimedia brand and launching a debate about the media's treatment of women that still rages today. Hefner turned sex into a brand, with himself as its unofficial mascot. Along the way, he broke down some barriers, but he also crossed a lot of lines. Here's a look at some of the disturbing things everyone just ignores about Hugh Hefner. Violation of consent. Playboy launched to major fanfare thanks to the fact that the first issue featured nude photos of legendary blonde bombshell Marilyn Monroe. One problem: the photos were published without her consent. Unable to find work and desperate for money, Monroe had actually been paid just $50 to pose in the nude way back in 1949 for a calendar. Ashamed, she did the shoot under a fake name and begged the photographer never to reveal it was her. Once she became famous, though, Hefner bought the rights to the photos for $500 and used them to launch his empire, all without ever even meeting Marilyn.
I feel like you missed out by not being able to have her here in your home.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
Hefner would go on to use the same tactic again and again over the decades. In 1985, for instance, he published nude photos of Madonna from 1979 when she posed as an artist model. And in 1987, it was Vanna White whose old modeling photos were exploited, despite the fact that White and Hefner were friends at the time.
He was my friend. He said, we're going to put you on the cover. I said, Hef, if you put me on the cover, my career could be ruined, and they did it anyway.
Some friend.
Wow.
He tried to bribe Holly Madison. For 8 years, Holly Madison was one of Hefner's girlfriends, but in 2008, she decided to ditch her bunny ears and left Hef. In 2015, she released a tell-all memoir titled Down the Rabbit Hole: Curious Adventures and Cautionary Tales of a Former Playboy Bunny. In the bestseller, she claimed Hefner attempted to bribe her to remain at the Playboy Mansion by intentionally leaving his will out for her to see. According to Madison, Hefner planned to bequeath her $3 million if she stayed.
It just grossed me out.
The allowance ritual. Madison was one of the stars of the hit reality series The Girls Next Door, but like the rest of the girls, she wasn't paid for that work. Instead, Hefner compensated his girlfriends by paying them $1,000 a week to live with him in the Playboy Mansion and giving them all the free plastic surgery they wanted. And the allowance ritual was especially degrading. According to former Playmate Isabella St. James, who wrote Bunny Tales behind closed doors of the Playboy Mansion, Hefner would have the girls line up in his bedroom every Friday and essentially beg for the money while he publicly reviewed their performance. St. James wrote, most of the complaints were about the lack of harmony among the girlfriends, or your lack of sexual participation in the parties he held in his bedroom. If we'd been out of town for any reason and missed one of the official going out nights, he wouldn't want to give us the allowance. He used it as a weapon. He buddied up with Bill Cosby. In May 2016, TMZ reported that a woman who accused Bill Cosby of sexually assaulting her at the Playboy Mansion in 2008 had added Hefner to the lawsuit, claiming the Playboy kingpin knew about Cosby's alleged predatory behavior but did nothing to protect her. According to the victim, it was Hefner who introduced her to Cosby. The suit alleges Hefner had a habit of inviting young and impressionable and possibly minor children to his residence and providing alcoholic beverages. And she's not the only one coming forward with allegations that Hefner was complicit in Cosby's crimes. In June 2017, pt6 reported that Cosby was being brought to trial for allegedly molesting a 15-year-old girl at the Playboy Mansion in 1974. What's not in doubt is the fact that Cosby was a frequent flyer at the mansion for decades and a close friend of Hefner's, a relationship the two played up for laughs.
I wish you had a present for me.
Well, I do. You're going to be really surprised.
Party, party.
Hef told me I was with you. Get it?
Hefner issued a statement in 2014 that seems to simultaneously support and oppose the comedian. Bill Cosby has been a good friend for many years, and the mere thought of these allegations is truly saddening. I would never tolerate this kind of behavior, regardless of who was involved. Whether or not he's telling the truth is something the courts will decide. Thanks for watching. Click the Nikki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check.
Hefner never got any backlash for that Bill Cosby shit, did he? I mean, I never heard about it.
Me either. No, that's the first I ever heard about it. Honestly.
I knew they were friends.
No, I did too, but I didn't know anything about the whole allegation stuff. On that, no, Playboy Mansion side.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. That's a rabbit hole itself.
I don't like Bill Cosby. He's a freak.
I mean, I used to like Bill Cosby, you know, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, you know, I loved his movies and the shows.
Right.
Until, you know, all that shit that came out.
Yeah.
I distanced my stuff from his stuff.
Right. Cosby's a weirdo. I think Hef is just as guilty.
Yeah.
Is speaking out about what she says really led to the legendary Playboy's death more than 6 years ago. And it wasn't what was announced to the public.
People weren't very truthful.
At the time of his death in 2017, a rep said Hefner died of natural causes, surrounded by family. Crystal Hefner says otherwise.
Not true.
What did he die of?
He died of an E. coli bacteria that was highly resistant to pretty much all antibiotics except for one, and that one didn't work.
Why do you think that statement was put out like that?
I'm not sure, because a bacterial infection isn't a natural cause.
Hefner's official death certificate confirms Crystal's story. It lists the cause of death as cardiac arrest with E. coli and septicemia, a blood infection, as contributing factors. Crystal also says the American icon was not surrounded by family as claimed. Only she was present when he spoke his last words, "I'm okay." In her new book, Only Say Good Things, Crystal also reveals living at the Playboy Mansion was like being in a prison. She says Hefner even enlisted security to keep her there.
I tried to just go take a walk, but when I got to the end of the security area, I heard him on the speakerphone. He had called down and basically told them if I try and leave, not to let me.
She compares her decade-long stay at the mansion to being in a cult.
I felt, in a way, brainwashed.
You had a rough childhood. You were molested as a child. You were raped as a teenager, and you lost your father.
I think it made me feel broken.
At age 26, she agreed to marry the 86-year-old Hefner.
In a way, I felt sorry for him. That was partly Stockholm syndrome.
At their wedding, she wore light pink instead of traditional white for a very specific reason.
I wanted to save a white dress for when I got married for real one day.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up. But that was Hugh Hefner. He wanted to keep control of all of those women. He got off on having the ultimate control. As you can see with all the allowance blackmail and all that bullshit, Hefner knew that he could get away with so much because he was so rich. Nobody ever questions the rich man until enough people come out and say something. But dude was literally the Playboy of the century. Like literally, he created Playboy magazine. You don't know how many people that Hefner probably essayed. You know what I mean? Like non-consensual sex, drugging at parties, things like that. I'm sure it happened. If you have friends like Bill Cosby, there were people being drugged at parties.
Oh yeah.
So that's a disturbing thing to think about, but that's true. I mean, it's just true. And there's it's more of a rumor than a real story because it's not a very real story or whatever. But I heard a rumor that at one of the parties, it was either Elvis or Johnny Cash, but one of them stepped in and prevented an essay. Like they literally stepped in and stopped somebody from getting raped. So it definitely happens at the mansion. Like that shit happened. And did you know that Elvis Presley actually had his own room at the Playboy Mansion? And he even lived at the Playboy Mansion for a little while. Yeah, not a lot of people know that, but that's fact. Elvis Presley lived at the mansion for a while.
And which whoever it was, Johnny Cash or Elvis Presley, whoever stopped that, I've always respected both men because they were very well, respected and loved.
Both extreme drug addicts, though.
Yeah, but still, they made some really good music. And very well respected by the community.
Yeah, I really like Cash. I really like Johnny Cash. I was never a big Elvis fan, but for sure there are definitely songs of Elvis's that I absolutely love.
You want to know something funny?
What?
Freshman year, right? During homecoming.
Yeah.
Got my hair all dyed pitch black, put on a black suit, and everybody was calling me the younger version of Johnny Cash.
Right. Bro, my favorite picture of Johnny Cash is when he's got that guitar, he's holding it like that, and he's sticking the middle finger out. It's my favorite photo of Johnny Cash. Absolutely love it. It's my favorite fucking photo of Johnny. There's so much character to that photo. Like, that's a man that just did not give a fuck. And I absolutely love it. Because, when you have fuck you money, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, yeah.
And, I heard stories once again, cannot prove them. There's no record of them on the internet, but the stories that I've heard of Johnny Cash paying off police officers and just doing crazy shit is absolutely hilarious. Mm-hmm. One of them is apparently Johnny Cash got into a Trans Am, like a nice Trans Am car, and purposefully fucking wrecked it because he was mad at the dude that bought it. Jumped into the car, fucking said a bunch of shit, threw his lit cigar onto the inside of the car or whatever, and drove the car into a fucking tree with him in it, with Johnny Cash in the car. And apparently he got out of the car, stumbled out of it, puked everywhere, and then told the dude whose car it was he got what he deserved. That's a man that doesn't give two fucks. So Johnny Cash, yeah, he's crazy, but I love him. I love Johnny Cash.
If only that was on video, I would be.
I know, dude. They're literally just stories because when you go down the rabbit hole of Reddit, there's no proof of any of them. There's literally no proof of any of them. But there's a part of me that I'm like, man, I really hope these stories are true, because if they are, they're some epic fucking stories. And you know, Johnny Cash had a horrible problem with like pills, heroin, and alcohol. He just had a horrible fucking problem with it. A lot of people believe he introduced Elvis Presley to heroin and pills. Like, they really think that Johnny Cash probably had a big pull in that because Elvis and him were so close.
Right.
But anyways, I believe we have one more video from the Playboy Mansion. And this one ties into our good old friend P. Diddy.
If you're back.
And if y'all have heard the rumors, P. Diddy apparently had the house that had the tunnel that went directly to the Playboy Mansion.
Backyard looks like a simple lawn, you might just be walking over a world of secrets. Imagine finding a doorway that leads directly from Diddy's mansion to the infamous Playboy Mansion. Picture this, hidden beneath the glamorous estates of Hollywood's elite, a network of secret tunnels. Rumors have swirled for decades about these mysterious passageways, but recent discoveries have brought them into the spotlight. Why would one of rap's biggest moguls need a secret route to Hefner's hedonistic haven? Some say it was for privacy, others whisper about exclusive, unseen parties. These tunnels, shrouded in secrecy, stretched for miles, offering a discreet passage away from the glaring public eye. While the reasons remain as enigmatic as the tunnels themselves, one thing is certain: the lives of the rich and famous aren't just about what meets the eye. There's always something more, just beneath the surface. So next time you admire those celebrity mansions, remember, the real intrigue could be lurking right below your feet.
Apparently, you know, like the one guy said earlier, all the secret tunnels were debunked, like Jack Nicholson.
No, well, they actually did find tunnels. And they found those they found the tunnels recently when they raided Diddy's house. So when they raided Diddy's house, they found that there were tunnels from the house to other houses, not just the mansion, but to other houses too, which is very weird. It's just weird. And it's like, were the tunnels already there, or did Hefner put them in? Did Diddy put them in? Who put the tunnels?
Right.
Because it was a rumor for a long time, and then they found one tunnel. So we know of one tunnel, and that's the tunnel that goes from Diddy's mansion to the Playboy Mansion. And that really does exist. So were there multiple? I don't know. Somebody probably knows, but that's not information that the public is privy to.
Right.
So with that being said, guys, we're going to go hit these new videos that Crew sent tonight. That, by the way, is before we get on to these new videos, actually, I want to talk real quick about the Playboy Mansion. Growing up, I found, like every other boy that gets curious, I went through my dad's stuff, or no, it wasn't my dad's stuff. It was the next door neighbor's dad's stuff. I managed to sneak into his house, and I went into his room when nobody else was there because his friends let me into the house, and and I went through their dad's drawers, and I found his stack of Playboys. Literally, they were like this big, a stack of Playboys this big. There were tons of them. And I remember being like, oh my God, I was probably like 11 or 12 and just going through all of the magazines and being like, oh my God, these exist. Holy crap. It's the first time, you get to see like a naked woman. And it was so funny. Like, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the first time I ever found a Playboy magazine. But, with the parties at the mansion, I always wondered if there was like some kind of ritualism going on there. What kind of occult ritualism was actually taking place? And I don't think we really know. I think we're just told it was like a madhouse of orgies and hardcore parties, and a lot of drugs were used at the mansion. A lot of people spent the night at the mansion. Presley famously had his own room at the mansion. You know, there was just there's so much that surrounds that in particular house that it almost feels like it was the downfall for quite a few people, but it was also like quite a few people's like favorite memories was going to the mansion and going to parties. It's just crazy to think about. But anyways, let's get on to these next videos. So he sent one on Artemis. Let's check this out.
Artemis astronauts are caught being paid actors, allegedly, which means this whole thing could be fake, allegedly. This is astronaut Christina Cox. She was up there. She was the only female up there in several of the videos. But here she is again. Take a close look. Do you recognize her from this? That's because she was credited in 2015's Mad Max Fury Road as one of the Volvani. She was one of those mothered. You can even see it here listed. She's on IMDb. Oh, but it gets better because this movie, Fly Me to the Moon, was released in 2024. What was this movie about? White House hires a team to fake the Apollo moon landing so they can win the space race no matter what. The icing and the cherry in this movie, it's called Project Artemis, allegedly. And look, guys, I've debunked a lot of viral videos on people that have questions and think, oh, we faked going, and I've shut a lot of it down. But this one, I'm having a bit of a hard time with because it's right in front of our face. I still think we went to the moon in space, but I don't know, guys. What do you think?
Well, we were talking about that the other day, about how Christina Koch was in Mad Max. And how they've on IMDb they've scrubbed her name, but she's still in the movie. I saw the clips that Christina Koch is supposedly in. I saw the clips, so she's still in the movie. Her name just doesn't appear on IMDb anymore, which that's a little weird.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Artemis stuff?
I believe, they did hire 2 actors, right? And I know for a fact the guy was in that one show that was based off the video game. And then she was in Mad Max.
Right. Well, the black guy was supposedly in the
Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us. All right, let's check out this last video you sent me, or these 2 last videos you sent me. This one's interesting. I saw this video before, and I don't think this is Charlie Kirk, but it definitely looks like him.
Excuse me, officer. Is your name Charlie?
Johnny?
No, Charlie?
No, it's not Charlie.
No?
No.
What's your name?
John.
John?
Yeah.
John Kirk?
No, not John Kirk.
Excuse me, officer. Is your name Charlie?
Johnny?
No.
It does look a lot like Charlie Kirk, but people have people that look like them all the time because look, I took my wife to the hospital today for her checkup appointment at the women's clinic because she's pregnant, and we all know this. I saw somebody, crew, that looked exactly like you. The only difference is they had black hair. They had jet black hair, a jet black mustache, and the same beard you have. I thought it was you for a second when I saw this person. And then I even nudged Sabrina and I was like, dude, look at this person over here. And she like had to take a double take and she was like, that person looks exactly like Crew.
You want to know something funny though?
What?
I said a lot. Where I walk around the street and be like, they ask me, they'll say a different person's name, and then when I turn around, because I know they're talking to me, and then they have to take a double take, like, oh, sorry for disturbing you. We thought you were somebody else. I was like, I get that a lot. But that Charlie Kirk video, right?
Yeah.
Another one where this guy goes to this fast food joint, right?
Yeah.
And he asks the guy behind the counter, hey, are you Charlie Kirk? He's like, no. And he says a different name. And he looks exactly like Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of them, and you don't know if they're using an AI filter or if that person really does look exactly like Charlie, but it's very weird, to say the least.
Yeah.
So guys, we're gonna play our last video for tonight. Here we go. Or actually, we have. Yeah, this is our last video for tonight.
I didn't want to say the name or invoke anything out there. I didn't want any darkness. I felt like
Keanu Reeves must be one of the nicest, coolest people on the planet, because no one has a bad word to say about that guy ever. He might be what we should all aspire to be. We should all aspire to be.
I'm telling you, kids, don't come to Hollywood. I'm serious. Your camera's sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
That one moment, that one sentence changed everything. Jim Carrey, a man who had already conquered Hollywood, looked straight into a camera and told the entire industry exactly what he thought of them, and Hollywood never forgave him for it. When he joked about secret symbols and powerful elites on national television, people laughed. But they always laugh when someone gets a little too close to the truth. Then February 2026 happened. Jim Carrey walked onto a stage in Paris to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. And instead of applause, the internet started asking questions, because people watching that footage kept saying the same thing. Is that actually Jim Carrey? And according to rumors inside Hollywood, Keanu Reeves noticed it too. But to understand why this moment matters, you have to understand who Jim Carrey really was. Jim Carrey didn't grow up inside the Hollywood machine. He built himself from nothing. When he was 16 years old, his family lost everything.
Turned 16, I dropped out of school.
Because?
Well, my family had, kind of hit the skids. We were, experiencing poverty at that point. And we got a job where the whole family had to work as security guards and
They were so broke they lived in a Volkswagen van. His entire family worked janitor shifts at a tire factory just to survive. While other teenagers were planning prom, Jim Carrey was cleaning bathrooms and dreaming about making people laugh. When he finally stepped onto a comedy stage in Toronto, the crowd hated him. They literally played Crucify Him over the speakers to boo him off stage. Most people quit after something like that. Jim Carrey didn't. He auditioned for Saturday Night Live 3 different times. Rejected. He starred in a TV show called The Duck Factory. Canceled. Opportunity after opportunity gone. But all those failures created something Hollywood didn't expect. A man who wasn't afraid of them. Then 1994 happened. In 1 year, Jim Carrey released Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. 3 blockbuster hits. Overnight, he became the biggest comedy star in the world. And that's when Hollywood finally invited him into the inner circle, the private parties, the executive meetings, the charity galas. But according to Jim, something about that world didn't feel right. Over time, Jim Carrey started saying things that made the industry uncomfortable. In 2014, he went on Jimmy Kimmel and joked about secret elite groups controlling Hollywood. People laughed it off as comedy, but the edges of the joke felt a little too real. Then in 2017, during a red carpet interview, he shocked reporters again. He said something that confused everyone watching. There is no me. He claimed celebrity personalities were just costumes, that Hollywood icons were manufactured illusions. To many people, he sounded philosophical. To others, he sounded dangerous. By 2022, Jim Carrey announced he was stepping away from acting. He said he was done with the Hollywood system. For the industry, that was actually perfect. The unpredictable voice had gone quiet, or so they thought. In 2024, Jim Carrey came back briefly to voice Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Working on that project with him was another actor, Keanu Reeves. Keanu voiced the character Shadow. Now, Keanu Reeves is known for being one of the most private people in Hollywood. He rarely speaks about industry drama, But according to people close to the production, Jim Carrey opened up to him during those recording sessions about the pressure, about powerful people, about things happening behind the scenes in Hollywood, things Jim believed the public didn't fully understand. Then came February 2026, the César Awards in Paris. Jim Carrey walks on stage to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award, but fans watching the footage start noticing strange details. His face looked different, his eyes looked different, even the way he moved felt off. Some people claimed he used his right hand when signing autographs, even though Jim Carrey has always been left-handed. The internet immediately exploded with theories. Was it surgery, a body double, or something much stranger? Here's the part that makes this story different. If these questions were coming from random fans online, Hollywood could ignore them. But Keanu Reeves complicates the situation, because Keanu has one of the cleanest reputations in the entire industry. No scandals, no feuds, no drama. He's respected by everyone, which means if someone like Keanu quietly starts asking questions, people listen, whether the theories are true or not. One thing about Jim Carrey is undeniable. He spent the last decade of his career openly questioning the system that made him famous. He warned young actors about Hollywood. He criticized the culture around fame, and he repeatedly said the world of celebrity was not what people think it is. So now the internet is asking two very different questions. If that was really Jim Carrey in Paris, what happened to him? And if it wasn't, what does that say about the industry he spent years warning people about? Either way, the conversation Jim Carrey started years ago is only getting louder now. And somewhere out there, Keanu Reeves is still watching.
I didn't want to say the name or invoke anything.
So what are your thoughts on Jim Carrey?
That's not Jim Carrey.
You don't think it's Jim Carrey?
No. Because here's the thing. I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan.
Right.
I followed Jim Carrey from Ace Ventura to Dumb and Dumber to every other movie he's done. One of my all-time freaking favorite movies he's ever done.
It's definitely not the same Jim Carrey who did The Mask.
And that's one of my other favorite movies. But my all-time favorite movie he's ever done, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say my wife's favorite movie is from Jim Carrey is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah. And his eye color was never green.
No.
And his hair, he reminds me so much of Val Kilmer.
Right.
That's what Val Kilmer looked like. You know, an older, Val Kilmer before he died. And
right.
I'm getting emotional about this because, Hollywood does this, the elites do this crazy shit to a lot of our favorites. And the one person I was hoping they did not get to, Jim Carrey. He was dying in 2022. I followed everything about him, because I'm a huge I'm his number one fan, right?
Right.
And you know this. We would talk about Jim Carrey all the time back in the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
especially The Truman Show. That was one of my favorite movies ever.
Mm-hmm. And seeing Jim Carrey like that 2 months ago, because I heard Jim Carrey's.
Elmstead says he still sees the same Jim Carrey. I don't. Jim Carrey did not look like that. And I know that people will say that it's just plastic surgery or Botox or whatever. But throughout the years, Carrey has stated multiple times that if anything were to become abundantly different about him, that wasn't him. And basically he has also stated that he does not involve himself in award shows or anything at all because he does not respect the culture.
And he's always been left-handed, never right-handed.
Well, see, there's the argument that maybe he's ambidextrous, but at the same time, people swear up and down that he has only ever written with his left hand. And
ask Grok on this. Grok would know.
Grok. I mean, Grok's gonna tell you that Jim Carrey is a conspiracy. But here, let's ask Grok. Here we go. Was Jim Carrey left or right-handed?
He's left-handed. For decades, that's how he's been known. Past interviews, photos, and appearances show him writing and signing with his left hand. The recent viral video of him using his right hand for autographs sparked all those wild clone theories. But experts say handedness isn't always strict, especially in crowds or for performance reasons. There's no official word from him changing it, so lefty it is.
What color are Jim Carrey's eyes?
Brown, or more precisely, hazel. Most sources and older photos list him as having brown eyes, but they're often described as hazel.
Then
That
how
mix of
come?
brown with
Then
green
how
or
come?
an-
Then how come in Jim Carrey's recent his recent appearance at the Caesar Awards, how come his eyes were green?
Lighting, plain and simple. His eyes are hazel, brown with green undertones, and under the bright stage lights at the Caesar Awards, the brown part washed out, leaving the green to pop. That's why they looked straight up green in those clips. No contacts, no clone, just classic hazel eye magic. Happens to plenty of people with the same eye color.
So there you go, crew. Grok says it's the same Jim Carrey. Grok says you're crazy.
Here's the thing. I have hazel eyes.
Right?
My eyes don't do that.
They don't change in lighting.
No, they stay hazel.
Right.
They look green in a way, but they're more hazel. And my mom even said that.
Yeah. Well, see, Elmstead said it looks like plastic surgery on Jim Carrey. Regardless if it's plastic surgery or not, that's not the same Jim Carrey that I knew 3 years ago. And I'm not saying that I knew Jim Carrey. I'm saying that the guy that I used to watch do comedy and do all of this jokes. I mean, you couldn't get that guy to go to a party to save his life. And anytime he went to an award show, he purposefully mocked it, made fun of it, called them all Illuminati bullshit, basically.
And
Between Jim Carrey and Ricky Gervais, both of them were relentless to the elite class, and Jim Carrey is not the same Jim Carrey anymore. Maybe he got lobotomized. I don't know. You know what I mean? Dude looks weird now. He just looks weird.
He also, if you remember correctly, that one award show, right?
Yes.
That you went to, and it was I think it was in LA. And those two, that one actor and actress were on stage. I think it was the same one that, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
They both told him to go to the back to the television section. And he stood up and he argued with them saying, I was in a movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's not getting the award this year.
Yeah. They kick. Well, see, I heard that was like set, like that was done on purpose, like to cause some comedy drama. But I've also heard that he legitimately got kicked out of that award show. So I don't know. You never know. You just never know. But the Jim Carrey one is weird. We might do a deep dive on Jim Carrey here in the next couple of shows. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the show for tonight. We're going to be back online tomorrow. We're going to figure out something. Tomorrow is going to be the first Saturday in a very long time that I'm actually able to podcast. So we're going to be on tomorrow. Crew, is there anything you want to go over tomorrow? Because this episode wrapped up our Hollyweird series. We had 6 parts to it, and this wrapped it up.
Okay. Let's go over we'll go over some conspiracy theories tomorrow.
Okay, I'm down.
We'll go over a lot of them. And we'll debunk. What we'll do for you guys tomorrow is we'll do fact or debunk.
Yep. Also, you know what time it is, crew.
This is the Venmo link to the Robert and Chris Show page to where if you'd like to, not have to, donate so that way we can get stuff for the podcast or so we can get travel costs for the podcast so we can travel anywhere and everywhere only for the podcast. And this Venmo is only for the podcast.
Yep. And then other than that, guys, we will see you tomorrow.
And the only thing we support
is well, the currency, our favorite currency, is to share the show. If you know somebody that enjoys this kind of stuff, they want to go over weird conspiracy theories or Hollyweird or serial killers or just about anything you can think of, tell them to hit up the Robert and Crew Show because they'll enjoy it.
Oh, and Robert did talk to me about this the other day, which he had not mentioned yet, but we're introducing something new that's going to go along with our podcast.
Oh, yeah. So we built I have been working with Google Gemini and slowly teaching myself how to code. Crew and I have thought up of an app it's not a banking app. You don't use it to put any money into it. It just tracks stocks and it tracks gold, silver, metals, materials. It was just a fun little project that we put together. And once we've worked all the kinks out of it and I can figure out if I can code it a little bit better to where it has a better look on it, we're going to introduce it to the podcast, and it will be the official Robert and Crew Show podcast app. And we'll even throw some random conspiracy facts in with it, obviously. So with that being said, guys, we hope you have a wonderful night tonight and a great weekend. Peace out from the Robert and Crew Show.
Robert and Crew, late night steal the flow. 12 a.m. sharp, KC lights aglow. Conspiracies, mysteries, let the weird truth grow. Hollyweird, old world, cryptids in the night. Flat earth debates till the early light. Raw and unfiltered, just vibing with the crew. The Robert and Crew Show, we coming for Yo, it's Robert from KC, digital artist with the pen. Spitting bars on the stream with his co-host friend. Crew in the mix, banter sharp like a blade. Low production magic in the midnight parade. YouTube.